did you get started in golf and who influenced you on that journey?
Well, I'm the youngest of three, so I have two older brothers. Quite close in age range with my middle one. It's only 2 years apart, so I was literally tagging him whatever he did. So I did all kinds of sports. And then my dad played golf, and then he introduced us. I must have been around 5 or 6. Um, and I mean, I was handed a golf club right at the driving range, and I thought it was the easiest thing. That perspective has changed over time. But in the beginning, I loved it. It was the thing that we did together. But by the age of 10, it started taking up way too much time. So then I had to kind of eliminate all other kind of activities that I did. And from then on, it was golf 24/7. And I think I was around, my mom tries to kind of remember this, but probably like 11, 12, and I kind of went to bed one night telling my mom, I want to be the best female golfer in the world. So I think the dream started quite early. So I was quite driven. I think it also had to do with it's something I felt like I could master. Quite competitive by nature, obviously being the youngest of three, but also like there were aspects with the golf game that I just was so fascinated about. And then, yeah, I was quite talented, so to say, in the early stage. I think I subconsciously gained a lot of confidence as well. So it was a natural choice when I had to kind of start choosing sport, which direction I wanted to go, and I've never looked back.
That's awesome. Yeah. And good for all of us too, as well, that you didn't. So what would be a little bit of advice if you, for parents, I guess, if they're trying to get their, or if either the kids show a strong interest, you just like run with it no matter how young, or a way that you would encourage them if the parents think that it's a good thing for the kid.
I mean, we're facing it right now as we speak with our oldest, who is now 6, turning 7. And
Wow.
all I can say is like, I obviously want to introduce as much as I can, and like let them try all kinds. By nature, they will either like something straight off the bat or dislike it. And if there's like if they kind of don't like certain things, I'm not the one who I'm not going to force it on them, because if they don't think it's fun, if they don't kind of enjoy kind of the time on the pitch, whatever, you're never gonna kind of end that day on a good note. My son has obviously been around golf, obviously not as much as me competing week in, week out, but he's been around it enough. Me working in golf, playing golf, kind of on the side note. So he's picked up all of it, but he's never been too keen. And my youngest daughter, who's more competitive, she's still too young. She's 4. So he's been like, "Mom, should we go play some golf?" I mean, I'm pretty easy to kind of get going if he kind of gets if he really wants to go, but um I find it hard because as much as I want them to kind of get into as or we want him to get into certain things, you still have to end up with what they find most fun. So I can just say like, let the kids kind of figure out their own way, but kind of be open-minded and introduce them to enough. And a lot of it is a lot where the friends are, where they feel comfortable, where they can kind of meet their schoolmates and so forth. So, but both our kids have been introduced to alpine skiing literally since the day they could start walking, about age, literally since a year and a half. And they both love it. So I think I already lost the battle.
Yeah.
But as long as they can kind of, hold the golf club, swing, kind of enjoy it. That's the main part, and maybe as they grow, they kind of pick up the interest even more. But it's yeah, it's not easy being a parent in this way because I mean I'm fairly competitive. My son, my oldest, is not very competitive. It's hard. I mean, I'm literally biting my lip, when they're like, uh, but I find that a quite interesting challenge to kind of find the right thing for them. And as he started school, I can kind of see how influenced he is by all of his schoolmates, what they're doing, and the interest of kind of learning new things. So I think it's very important to be quite divertive and kind of do a lot of things. It's good for your coordination, it's good for your balance, it's good for like everything as a kid. So that's kind of my take on it. But if the kids are super keen, I'm all for kind of going down that more kind of hardcore way, but it's got to come from the kids because if their heart is not in it, you're not gonna succeed.
Yeah, it's not going to work in the end. So it's interesting. You touched on something that leads to another question that we have for you, which is, we started this campaign uh, when we very first started. We've always had the hashtag bring a friend, but this year we really leaned into it because we saw that that's a great way for, let's just say, particularly women, because that's I'm sure it probably applies to everybody, but what we've been seeing for 10 years. So we really leaned into this, bring a friend. Because I feel like we all have a friend. I'm 25 years in the business side of golf, that we all have a friend that we wish played golf, you know, that we'd love to go hang out and chat with and spend hours,
Yeah.
but they don't. And some of those people will probably never convert because I've tried for years. But saying what you just said about your son and his schoolmates and that is a way that they get into sports. First, I guess, is did you have that kind of, good friend, or even if it was somebody that encouraged you, maybe they didn't play golf, but they encouraged you? And what do you think about that for women? Just getting a
Yeah, I
friend and
mean,
inviting a friend, us in the golf, making sure we try to bring a friend that we think might be somewhat interested.
yeah, yeah, for sure. When I grew up, there were definitely more boys playing at our club. And me being a tomboy, being the youngest with two older brothers, I was quite used to kind of that mentality. So I loved it. And I used to practice and play with the boys. They were usually better, they were hitting it further. But I always looked at it as a great challenge. And I thought that was good for me and my kind of progression. Um, there were a little bit older girls in the training groups, and I remember I they were support for me. They were kind of a safety net for me, even though I kind of loved kind of spending majority of the time with the boys. I knew they were always there, and I can see now today, like I, it's quite. I have both. I have great friends who doesn't play golf, and I have some friends, some really close friends who do play. Some are really good, some are not that good, but how much more fun it is now to kind of be able to go out, play 9 holes at night, before the sun goes down and just spend some time together. It's not about what you do, it's actually just an excuse to meet and kind of hang and kind of talk through life. And that's what I love about golf. And my grandpa, he picked up the game quite late. He was 70 when he picked it up. We lost our
Wow.
grandma, and then he kind of became like uh, yeah, a bit more by himself. So he picked up golf, and the joy and the connections and the new friends that he met at that age through the game of golf was just amazing. It was kind of it became his new place to hang, and it's like it doesn't matter the age range. It's like golf is for everybody. Everyone can play together. So, but I can also see now, like my son started school, one of his best friends 2 weeks ago. I took his best friend, his brother, and my two kids to the driving range together, so all four of them. And they were all having a great time, but it's all because they're all there together as well. Um, and I think, um, yeah, it's just, I think it's important to feel comfortable. I think that's the most important part. Uh, I was never driven by doing something that my friends did. I did it because I had a desire to just become as good as I could possibly be, and if that was with my friends or without my friends, that wasn't kind of the tipping point. So it's always a hard question for me when people say, "How can we get more girls to play golf?" Because for me, it wasn't about what my girlfriends did. I
Yeah.
did it by heart. But I definitely now see it through my kids, like how important it is that they kind of can do things together. They can drive each other, to kind of become more interested. And um, I learned it kind of all over again now with being a mom.
Yeah, and I find even more interesting is this story about your grandfather, because I do
Yeah,
think
that was great.
anybody like yourself who takes a very dedicated track um, to achieve, excellence in any sport, here in golf, that you're not probably seeing all the, you know, things that a normal golfer would. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Whether it's like you don't have to worry about making friends,
no,
you know,
no. But I mean, for
you
him,
probably
I
don't have
mean,
to worry about being
but in his
discriminated.
case, But
Yeah,
in his case, it's like it became like this daily routine to go to the golf, like in summer to go to the golf course, have a cup of coffee, sit down with the boys or the all the new friends. Yeah, they did play some golf, but that wasn't kind of the main thing. It was a place to kind of meet and have like enjoy life. And I remember they went on like golfing trips to Portugal, and you know, it was just an excuse to kind of do something together. Um,
yeah.
um, but at
And
the
I think
same
it,
time, a good thing for everyone, you kind of out walking and playing and all the benefits that comes with playing golf. So yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And
like,
that even that whether it's dopamine or that hit of
yeah,
like happiness that we get from being around people. And the studies did show too that women, when you ask them about around, we're talking about amateur women just going out and playing, it's like they're more less worried about their score and more likely to say, I had a really great time. I had a lot of
yeah,
laughs. So referring to the experience they had rather than the score, which isn't, that's like you said, beauty of golf is everybody can do it their own way. I think
yeah,
found is we're trying to get at least people that are intimidated to try, post childhood, maybe it's high school or college or adult women particularly that they've seen it, they feel left out in for the corporate world or whatever, is just to have them feel that it's not so scary and that you can go and unless you're starting young and you're going for an NCAA scholarship or to be
yeah,
someone
yeah.
like you, they don't need to be
But I mean, that needs to be
serious.
said, but that needs to be said, like the level of these young kids that come out of high school, beginning of college. I mean, they're so good now, and obviously the rules has changed, and kind of like the commercial part has kind of gotten way down into like the amateur ranks. Um, you almost have. I mean, I don't see the next number one kind of literally just popping out at the age of 25 anymore. I mean, if you're not that good when you're like 17, 18, uh, you might not be the next. I don't know. It's like you just have to start so young, and they specialize so early. I mean, look at all the Asian players, Koreans, Chinese. The Koreans, I mean, they literally get taken out of school at the age of like 11, and they play professional from the age of 13. I mean, it becomes so kind of one-sided very, very early for that one kid to kind of become that next number one. So it's good in a way, but it's also a little bit sad because there are a lot of parts in life they're missing out on, or important kind of stepping stones, I believe, in kind of raising a child. But at the same time, if the kids, if the girls really want to go that way, I'm all for it. But it's like I said, like it needs to come from the inside, otherwise it'll never succeed. And some are driven by what friends do, others are not, like myself. But at the same time, it's all about finding that inner peace. And yeah, I think everyone's driven by confidence. So it's always going to be a hard task. Like, how can you get more women kind of introduced to the game and stick with it. But I think it could also be like a platform where it's like an excuse to meet. It's another opportunity to kind of hang, spend 2, 3 hours um, that you might not have done otherwise. So yeah,
Yeah. Tell us about Voxa. Love to hear about that.
yeah,
It's exciting
uh,
time now, different chapter in your golf
yeah.
career.
It's definitely a different chapter, different side of the industry for me. I feel like I'm now kind of gone around the table.
Yeah. And you want to just explain
Um,
what it is for those who
yeah,
don't?
so Voxa is it's a management company, agency, talent recruitment. But we're not just going to be another agency. We are a female, um embracing female athletes, athlete first, a family oriented team, I want to say. So, I mean, yes, we are a management company, but I like to call us Team Voxa because that's how I look at us. We are one team, many players, but we're all kind of connected and making each other better. We do all the I want to say ABCs in the management world, anything from helping the individuals of daily day-to-day tasks, logistics, we do all the commercial side, we do building their brands, we do all the social media, like kind of uh, everyone has a story to be told in all aspects, and that is literally kind of the the core of where the name came from. Vox is comes from Latin. Everyone has a voice. So that's kind of our storyline, and I literally believe every athlete out there has something special that needs to come kind of be told to the public, and built upon. And It's been a fun kind of journey so far. I feel like I can contribute kind of from experience of having dealt with all these agencies through my career, the pros and cons. We taking kind of the best parts from all of it, but then again, the way I'm wired, I like to stir the pot, kind of do everything a little bit differently, and that's what we do. Um, so we like to be the first movers. We like to be part of Voxer wants to be part of elevating women's game to the next level where they definitely deserve to be, where they should be. I literally think it's a collaborative effort to kind of make that move. We want to be part of building that story. I don't necessarily think what's happened on the men's side has been a great benefit for the men's game, where the live and the PGA and the fights. I always believe you're better off working all together. So I'm all for that for the women's side, but I think the time is now. I think if you look in other female sports, you kind of see some great kind of movements. You have obviously the women's basketball with Caitlin Clark. You have tennis, you have soccer. I mean, so many like big sports have kind of already started like picking this up and kind of elevating themselves. It's just a matter of time before golf needs to go there. So Voxa wants to be part of that. We want to be different. We want to be a game changer. And We want to be the best team out there. So that's kind of the main goal for Team Voxa. And it's been really well received from the players that we already have onboarded and players that we kind of currently are talking to.
Yeah, I've got to imagine that what a incredible advantage because I'm thinking now of a bunch of the management teams, like I said, I've worked with over the years, and to have a player at the helm because you really do know what's needed, what's wanted, how to be treated, I think sometimes is even
Yeah. And
We've seen it.
the sad thing is like you talk to all these, but I mean most players have are contracted to some agencies or a person, who's kind of responsible for looking after them or representing them. And the sad part is like a lot of the girls are actually quite unhappy like with their situation. A lot of them feel like a small fish in a big tank. And some players have even said, I feel like I need to perform to kind of have the right to be seen in the big system. So I mean, this is not about how you perform. It's like we onboard our players, and there's complete like the equality. It goes beyond anything. If you're world number one, if you're like an upcoming star, if you then like the next top junior, if you're like a college player, whoever we whoever we onboard stand on equal ground, and everyone deserves the same right. That's easy to say, but I really feel we have taken actions here, and we also want to create an ecosystem of recruitment within golf. Team Voxa is obviously the top tier. As we speak, we're kind of working on kind of how we can find the best strategy and ecosystem to kind of create, you know, a recruitment plan of how to kind of bring, you know, uh, young players into the game. So
Yeah,
we have a lot of great plans. We currently obviously attract the best players, but we want to attract the upcoming players who the future of the game.
yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, similarly, I think a lot of this stuff is word of mouth when amongst, they start hearing that things are different. And you can appreciate it too, because it reminds me of like artists. Artists want to just do their art. They don't want to get involved in the commercial aspect of it. And it's hard if your brain's not wired for that, or it's just like an extra thing that feels like a burden to have to take care of,
Yeah,
that you want to hope that you can trust the people that you're with. So, like I said, I think going back to the fact that you're leading it and you're a player that has dealt with a lot of these, whether they're issues or contracts or putting
yeah,
borders and boundaries on what to do and media, et cetera, that goes into it. I think just getting the word out, because I've got to imagine this sounds to me like an incredible opportunity.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, and at the same time, we're having fun doing it.
Yeah.
It's lots of laughs. So, I mean, I've always believed working together will make you kind of better. I always used to practice with like players that were better than me. Um, I mean, I had some great feisty competitive kind of periods with different players through my career, through like decades. But I always believe like the best ones were actually we made each other better. We practiced together, stuff that you can't necessarily read in a book. And like I'm telling our players, I just want you to kind of you should have each other's shoulder. Like I know you stand on the first tee, you fight the competitors, made the best player win, but at the end of the day, you have a teammate who can kind of take one under the wing and like let's go, let's kind of go to the next week, to the next tournament. I literally believe like being a team and feeling like you're part of something that's bigger than yourself will elevate your own kind of game as well. So I was quite hard on myself. I was a perfectionist. I was an alcoholic on kind of training, It's like I was I was never kind of satisfied. If I look back, I wish I could have been nicer to myself, especially through the highs. Obviously, the lows are going to be the lows. That's kind of when you learn the most. But when things is like just on a roll, just enjoy the ride because it doesn't last forever, and let's literally have some fun while doing it. So that's also an important aspect that I try to kind of uh, communicate with our players, and we do activities outside of the golf course to kind of bond, to kind of literally like build a team. A lot of fun with it, a lot of hard work, obviously, but at the end of the day, supporting the players we onboard is our number one priority. Everyone's seen, everyone's heard, everyone has a voice, and having like a global footprint, we have a big global market that we can kind of scale on, which is fun. At this point, we have the number ones in their respective countries, and that's a great storyline. But it's important to onboard the right players who also wants to be part of a team because
Right.
you got to give to get. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
definitely understand that after 10 years. Why don't you just list some of the players so we can give them a shout out as well?
Sure, we have Ronnie Yin, Chinese, young 22-year-old, already won a major, former number one in the world, currently top three in the world, I think. We have Mexican star Gabby Lopez. She's not a veteran on the LPGA, but she's been out there quite a few years. We have the Spanish superstar Carlota Ciganda, a good friend of mine, the Solheim superstar from Spain in 23. We have Ashley Lau from Malaysia. We have Shan Tan from Singapore. And we have a few more players coming on board as we speak. So super excited. We all love working with this, and every day is just joy.
Yeah. I was at that Solheim in Spain.
Yeah,
So, and as you were talking, that's what my memory came when you said about what when you're fierce competitors, but then yet you come together, because obviously you come together as whether you're Team Europe or Team USA. But I even find a gentleness and a kindness with between the team that wins and the team that doesn't. You know, there's
absolutely.
still, I think it starts with respect, and it seems like you guys have
Yeah.
that in spades. So. Congratulations. This is awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. I'm sure everybody's going to love hearing about this.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us.
Yeah, and I think this is a prime example of working together. You have a global footprint. We do too, 85 countries. It blows my mind that people find out about this. Many times it is women getting it going, but men too. A lot of men have signed up, done it, hosted these events, and we just look forward to hearing more about your players and talking about them throughout the rest of this journey.
Perfect. Can't
Yeah.
wait to do help you guys out, and we all kind of do a great effort for the game of
Yeah,
golf.
it's going to be a crazy week. So
Yeah,
This year is May 27th to June 3rd, and
it's
it
the US
definitely
Open
goes.
week for us.
It is, yeah. And then KPMG is 2 weeks later, but
Yeah,
the social media and it goes nuts. But what I'm most proud is the activation. Like we're not
yeah,
just talking the talk, we're walking the walk. And you and I, we just discussed it. That's really important to activate about on things, whatever they are.
yeah,
Management, helping
absolutely.
people. We got to start getting women out there somehow, some way. So if it's a mom now that could have been your mom that tried a women's
Yeah,
golf day, and then she has a Suzann Pettersen, and then we have a champion. They've got to start somewhere. So I
absolutely.
think so. Anyway, we'll keep looking out for more on Voxa, and we'll follow these players. And congratulations on this great
Thank
achievement.
you. Good luck.
Thank you.
See you out there. Bye.